nor indeed did I do so until some days had gone by. When I awoke the full light was pouring into the chamber, and by it I saw the priest Oros standing at my bedside. I sat up and asked him what time it was, to which he answered with a smile, but in a low voice, that it lacked but 2 hours of midday, adding that he had come to set my arm. Now I saw why he spoke low, for Leo was still fast asleep. "Let him rest on," he said, as he undid the wrappings on my arm, "for he has suffered much and," he continued significantly, "may still have more to suffer." "What do you mean, friend Oros?" I asked sharply. "I thought you told us that we were safe upon this Mountain." "I told you, friend," and he looked at me. "Holly is my name. Friend Holly, that your bodies are safe. I said nothing of all the rest of you. Man is more than flesh and blood. He is mind and spirit as well, and these can be injured also." "Who is there that would injure them?" I asked. "Friend," he answered gravely, "you and your companion have come to a haunted land, not as mere wanderers, for then you would be dead ere now, but of set purpose, seeking to lift the veil from mysteries which have been hid for ages. Well, your aim is known and it may chance that it will be achieved. But if this veil is lifted, it may chance also that you will find what shall send your souls shivering to despair and madness. Say, are you not afraid?" "Somewhat," I answered, "yet my foster son and I have seen strange things and lived. We have seen the very light of life roll by in majesty, we have been the guests of an immortal, and watched death seem to conquer her and leave us untouched. Think you then that we would turn cowards now? Nay, we march on to fulfil our destinies." At these words Oros showed neither curiosity nor surprise. It was as though I told him only what he knew. "Good," he replied, smiling, and with a courteous bow of his shaven head. "Within an hour you shall march on, to fulfil your destinies. If I have warned you, forgive me, for I was bidden so to do, perhaps to try your mettle. It is needful that I should repeat this warning to the Lord." And again he looked at me. "Leo Vincey," I said. "Leo Vincey, yes, Leo Vincey," he repeated, as though the name were familiar to him but had slipped his mind. "But you have not answered my question. Is it needful that I should repeat the warning?" "Not in the least, but you can do so if you wish when he awakes." "Nay, I think with you, that it would be but waste of words, for forgive the comparison what the wolf dares," and he looked at me, "the tiger does not flee from," and he nodded towards Leo. "There, see how much better are the wounds upon your arm, which is no longer swollen. Now I will bandage it, and within some few weeks the bone will be as sound again as it was before you met the Khan Rassen hunting in the plains. By the way, you will see him again soon, and his fair wife with him." "See him again? Do the dead then come to life upon this Mountain?" "Nay, but certain of them are brought hither for burial. It is the privilege of the rulers of Kaloon; also, I think that the Khania has questions to ask of its Oracle." "Who is its Oracle?" I asked with eagerness. "The Oracle," he replied darkly, "is a voice. It was ever so, was it not?" "Yes, I have heard that from Atene, but a voice implies a speaker. Is this speaker she whom you name Mother?" "Perhaps, friend Holly." "And is this Mother a spirit?" "It is a point that has been much debated. They told you so in the Plains, did they not? Also the Tribes think it on the Mountain. Indeed the thing seems reasonable, seeing that all of us who live are flesh and spirit. But you will form your own judgment and then we can discuss the matter. There, your arm is finished. Be careful now not to strike it or to fall, and look, your companion awakes." Something over an hour later we started upon our upward journey. I was again mounted on the Khan's horse, which having been groomed and fed was somewhat rested, while to Leo a litter had been offered. This he declined, however, saying that he had now recovered and would not be carried like a woman. So he walked by the side of my horse, using his spear as a staff. We passed the fire pit, now full of dead, white ashes, among which were mixed those of the witch finder and his horrible cat, preceded by our dumb guide, at the sight of whom in her pale wrappings the people of the tribe who had returned to their village prostrated themselves, and so remained until she was gone by. One of them, however, rose again, and, breaking through our escort of priests, ran to Leo, knelt before him and kissed his hand. It was that young woman whose life he had saved, a noble looking girl, with masses of red hair, and by her was her husband, the marks of his bonds still showing on his arms. Our guide seemed to see this incident, though how she did so I do not know. At any rate she turned and made some sign which the priest interpreted. Calling the woman to him, he asked her sternly how she dared to touch the person of this stranger with her vile lips. She answered that it was because her heart was grateful. Oros said that for this reason she was forgiven; moreover, that in reward for what they had suffered he was commanded to lift up her husband to be the ruler of that tribe during the pleasure of the Mother. He gave notice, moreover, that all should obey the new chief in his place, according to their customs, and if he did any evil, make report that he might suffer punishment. Then, waving the pair aside, without listening to their thanks or the acclamations of the crowd, he passed on. As we went down the ravine by which we had approached the village on the previous night, a sound of chanting struck our ears. Presently the path turned, and we saw a solemn procession advancing up that dismal sunless gorge. At the head of it rode none other than the beautiful Khania, followed by her great uncle, the old Shaman, and after these came a company of shaven priests in their white robes, bearing between them a bier, upon which, its face uncovered, lay the body of the Khan, draped in a black garment. Yet he looked better thus than he had ever done, for now death had touched this insane and dissolute man with something of the dignity which he lacked in life. Thus then we met. At the sight of our guide's white form, the horse which the Khania rode reared up so violently that I thought it would have thrown her, but she mastered the animal with her whip and voice, and called out "Who is this draped hag of the Mountain that stops the path of the Khania Atene and her dead lord? My guests, I find you in ill company, for it seems that you are conducted by an evil spirit to meet an evil fate. That guide of yours must surely be something hateful and hideous, for were she a wholesome woman she would not fear to show her face." Now the Shaman plucked his mistress by the sleeve, and the priest Oros, bowing to her, prayed her to be silent and cease to speak such ill omened words into the air, which might carry them she knew not whither. But some instinctive hate seemed to bubble up in Atene, and she would not be silent, for she addressed our guide using the direct thou, a manner of speech that we found was very usual on the Mountain, though rare upon the Plains. "Let the air carry them whither it will," she cried. "Sorceress, strip off thy rags, fit only for a corpse too vile to view. Show us what thou art, thou flitting night owl, who thinkest to frighten me with that livery of death, which only serves to hide the death within." "Cease, I pray, lady, cease," said Oros, stirred for once out of his imperturbable calm. "She is the Minister, none other, and with her goes the power." "Then it goes not against Atene, Khania of Kaloon," she answered, "or so I think. Power, forsooth! Let her show her power. If she has any, it is not her own, but that of the Witch of the Mountain, who feigns to be a spirit, and by her sorceries has drawn away my guests," and she pointed to us, "thus bringing my husband to his death." "Niece, be silent," said the old Shaman, whose wrinkled face was white with terror, whilst Oros held up his hands as though in supplication to some unseen strength, saying "O Thou that hearest and seest, be merciful, I beseech thee, and forgive this woman her madness, lest the blood of a guest should stain the hands of thy servants, and the ancient honour of our worship be brought low in the eyes of men." Thus he prayed.